next passage is from Luke chapter 2, verses 1 through 6. In those days, a decree went out from Emperor Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration and was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged and who was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for her to deliver her child. This is the word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
Well, who would you like to spend Christmas with? You have a list that you would just love to spend Christmas with, and you have a list of others you just as soon avoid. Tonight you decide. Do we want to spend Christmas with the shepherds? Well, you see, the shepherds were living in their usual way. Restless sleep, a dark night. I guess somebody brought along a lyre, strummed on 4 or 5 notes, and maybe they played a flute. I guess they had cheese and fruit. And they told the same old stories as we tend to do. They told of rescues in the mountains, and every rescue was bigger than the previous one. They talked about birthing lambs in the harsh winter conditions, and how difficult it was to shear the wool this past year, especially for those sheep that got caught in the cover burners. On this especially dark night, they discussed the rise and fall of sheep prices, how to trick the priest into believing that a blemished lamb was actually okay. Now, on their very long, dark, terrible, no-good-for-nothing nights, they shared their favorite 9-bean shepherd's recipes. Now and then, they would tell the ancient stories of the other shepherds in their culture. The stories of Jacob and Moses and David. Famous shepherds. Famous men who once also looked over sheep. In the darkness, we remember Jacob had his shepherd surprise. He thought he had married Rachel, only to find out when he turned on the candle that, no, Leah was his wife now. That was an interesting moment. And then there's Moses, who was in that dark, dark, dark night of the soul. He rounded a corner and saw a burning bush, and God spoke to him. He said, "Shepherd boy, it's time for you to go lead some children now from slavery to freedom. Good luck. And by the way, I am, and I'm with you." And that's all the credit card Moses needed. And he kept his word to God, and God kept his word to Moses. Night meant the coming of the thieves, the attacks by the lions and the wolves, and sheep just plain old wandering off. David, he did some of that. In his dark, sinful thoughts, he looked down from his palace and saw Bathsheba taking a candlelight bath without any bows. He forgot his honor. His lust consumed him, and he sent her husband Uriah to his death. And she later became David's wife. A dark night for a shepherd, indeed. On this night, the night we're going to spend with the shepherds, the oil lamps of Bethlehem just flicker in the night. And there are some scattered stars up there in the heavens, and they're dancing this evening, though. Something's going on in the cosmos. And suddenly the heavens open, imagine that. And a light, the light of creation, shone from the throne room of God right down through all of creation. And it became a heavenly highway for the heavenly host to travel. And the shepherds saw it. And they beheld the glory of God. Wow. For the glory of God had not been seen since Moses was on Mount Sinai. That is a while ago. Their weariness left and they stopped telling stories. They didn't exchange any more recipes. They had nothing else to share, for they were overwhelmed. They didn't even mention using their rods or their staffs or their slings. They were in passionate worship. They were consumed by the awesome presence of God. It was a holy moment of divine human encounter. The light shone all about them, and they were awed by it. What they experienced was such that they could not speak, nor could they reject the command, go and see. For if you're going to spend Christmas with a shepherd, you've got to be willing to go and see.